Projects don't exist because organizations simply enjoy project plans, status reports, or steering committees. Projects exist because organizations and businesses want change. In other words, projects are investments in change. Projects exist as a vehicle to deliver change. And once you can see projects as investments, the whole conversation changes. Because an investment is not something you just start and hope for the best. An investment needs protection. It uses money, it uses people, it uses time, it uses leadership attention, it carries risk, and it is expected to produce value. So the real question is this still the right use of money, people, time, and attention? This is where project governance begins. Governance exists because organizations need a disciplined way to protect the value they expect. Governance gives authority. Control creates evidence. That is why I use a simple model called FACTS: focus, allocation, costing, time, and scope. 5 areas sit at the heart of project control. The focus tells us what we now expect the project to cost. Allocation tells us who is doing the work, when they are doing it, and whether the plan is actually resourced. Costing tells us what money is being spent, committed, accrued, or forecast. And then time tells us whether effort is being booked, where it was planned. Scope tells us what the project is meant to deliver, what has changed, and whether that change has been approved. So when these 5 areas are monitored and controlled properly, they reveal almost every major pressure in the project. Schedule pressure shows up through time and allocation. Cost pressure shows up through forecasts and actuals. Resource pressure shows up through allocation and timesheets. And change pressure shows up through scope and baseline movement. Risk impact shows up through forecast, time, cost, and scope. Status reporting becomes stronger because it is supported by evidence. Governance becomes stronger because decisions are based on connected information. And that is why FACTS matters. It's not just an acronym. It is the project control spine. If the facts are weak, the report is weak. If facts are scattered, governance becomes guesswork. And if facts are controlled, project position becomes much easier to defend. Just knowing what to control is not enough. The next question is, how do we implement controls? How do we enforce the controls? That is where the 4 C's come in: control, confirm, correct, commit. First, control the period. Open the right month. Lock what should no longer move. Bring in the latest actuals, timesheet, resource updates, change requests, risks, issues, and forecast input. Then 2, Confirm what happened. Did actuals match forecasts? Did people work where they were expected to work? Did supplier costs arrive? Do we need accrual or variances will correct what comes next? This is where many businesses and companies lose control. They explain the past, but do not correct the future. So, if actuals were higher than expected, does the estimate to complete need to change? If work slipped, does cost profile needs to move? If resource allocation changed, does the forecast still hold? If scope changed, has the financial impact been approved? Fourth, commit the position. That is the monthly control rhythm. Facts tells us what to control. The 4Cs, though, tell us how to control it. But there is one more important part. Control needs rhythm, because project controls are not isolated actions. That is why control needs a calendar, a governance calendar. It's not just a diary. It is the heartbeat of project control. Many organizations have reports. Fewer have rhythms. That is why this series starts here, because project success is not only about delivery activities. It is about controlled delivery. That is why project governance and controls are key. And when those things come together, teams get something more valuable than another report. They get project numbers that hold up when challenged. So this is the journey I am inviting you to join. If you work in PMO, finance, project delivery, project control, portfolio management, program delivery, or leadership of project-based work, I will be sharing practical ways to strengthen project governance and control, because successful projects do not happen by reporting alone. Follow along, subscribe, join the conversation, and let's build a better way to control project delivery, one governance activity at a time.